Good afternoon once again, Terrier Nation Sports Information Director Jared Plate here for the Hiram College Network, and it's time again. Spring is rolling around. I know it doesn't look like it because snow's out there on the field, but winter seasons are coming to an end. Spring seasons are getting ready to start, and sitting to my right is head coach Brian Jenkins of the Hiram men's lacrosse team. Coach Jenkins, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
This is our men's lacrosse season preview here for the 2019 season, and Coach, talk me through a little bit how preseason went for you guys and how you feeling heading into the year.
You know, preseason went pretty well for us. We had our fall season, and things seemed to go pretty well in the fall. And preseason right now, starting after the break, we went pretty hard. Our guys hit the weight room real well, and we're coming out of it ready for our first game on Saturday, healthy, which is something that every coach dreams about going into the season.
So let's break down the X's and O's, talk about some of the guys that are returning for you. Last year, you guys had a really great offensive season, the most prolific since men's lacrosse became a sport 7 years ago. So talk about the offensive guys that are coming back, and lead off with Tim Stuckey and how he kind of broke all of our records last year for single season. And what do you got?
Tim is just a dynamic player, that we picked up a couple of years ago. He's a true finisher. He's really worked on his game a lot. He's doing a much better job playing on the perimeter, and we're always looking. Tim's kind of our catalyst to get things started, so that our offense runs a little bit more smoothly.
Let's talk a little bit more about the attackmen. You got, like I said, 5 of your 7 leading scorers from last year are back once again here in 2019, so we're looking to another really good offensive season. So talk about what you got at attack.
Our attack is it's going to be two guys who've been playing with each other ever since they were freshmen, with Tim and also Hunter Jenkins. Last year, attack-wise, it was just an unbelievable season for us. In the 7 years that actually the 6 seasons that we have played, I believe we've only had one person over or even close to 40 points in a season, and last year we had 3 guys over 50, and we were returning 2 of those guys back, like I said, with Tim and Hunter.
So let's move a little bit and talk about the midfield. I know this is a position that's kind of changing as the shot clock rules are changing and everything going on with men's lacrosse right now. So maybe a little bit more importance as far as clearing and getting the ball over midfield. So talk about what you got at midfield.
Yeah, with the new rule changes, midfield position is kind of turning back a little bit towards the old school, as they would like to say, where kids are playing both ways, on both sides of the field. Lacrosse had gotten to become a little bit more specialized, but right now we have quite a few pretty solid players that can play on both sides of the field that we're really happy with. Jarrett Wallen, junior midfielder from Mentor, Ohio, is one of those guys. Justin Dion, senior captain, is a guy who is for 4 years has just been an outstanding player who can get up and down the field real well, and he's been a prolific offensive scorer. Jonah Austin is another senior 4-year player for us who's kind of he's going to need to step into a little bit more of a significant role this year with his ability to score, and we've made some changes with just some other players like Marcus McNeil. We've kind of moved from defensive midfield to an offensive midfield position, and I also think that that's going to just make us a little bit more well-rounded at the midfield.
So let's move on, Coach. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. You got a lot of good returners coming back, including Nick Jericho, who's a 4-year player for you as well, and you got Horace Johnson back there. Alex Meehan is back. So just talk about what the defense is going to bring for you and how you're going to turn it into offense.
Yeah, Nick Jericho is a 4-year starter. He's a captain here on our team. He's somebody who is going to be kind of our rock back there. He's kind of our conductor. He'll be orchestrating most of the defense and the guys around it. Also, we'll have Horace Johnson, who's just an extremely physical and kind of special player. You don't kind of run by those kind of guys too often, and he's kind of going to be somebody who's going to be helping us put a little more pressure on defenses and things like that. And I said, our last close defenseman, we're going to be bouncing a couple of guys through there, Corey Zeller-Edmonds and Dylan Gump will be kind of sharing out that back position. The great thing about our close defense right now is that we'll be starting the same close defense that we started last year. So they all gel together. Our defensive unit is pretty gelled together with short stick defensive midi. Alex Beeham is our face-off specialist, but he also plays short stick D midi, and also Liam Pinney is our long stick midfielder, who is another 3-year starter, who's a captain, who really kind of sets the pace for us up at the midfield line.
So it seems like one of our biggest, overall themes here with the men's lacrosse team is experience, and that also goes to the goalies as well. As you got Keegan Finnegan and Liam Osborne both back for another year. So talk about what they're going to bring between the pipes.
Yeah, we call them our Wonder Twins because we don't. We don't really have a set starter right now, and this will be going on our second year of doing that, and it's funny because I'm not a coach who kind of likes that. I've always been more of a traditionalist. You find your starter, you stick with them, you ride them until you can't ride them anymore, and you move them out. But we've had a lot of really good success with both of these guys. Having the ability to, Liam is a little bit more of a ball stopper and a little bit more of a solid player inside the crease, where Keegan gives us a little bit more flexibility outside of the crease in our clearing and our ridings. So we're going to kind of use both of them a little bit interchangeable. I think last year, out of our 14 games last year or 15 games last year, I'm pretty sure there was almost a split in the starts. And I think in our wins, we had more wins last year than we've ever had before. I think they split those wins also. So it's not like we have just a go-to guy in that situation.
So let's talk about some of the newcomers. A lot of fans will realize if they follow the Terrier football team that there's an infusion of Hiram football here on the men's lacrosse field as well. So talk about what the new guys are going to bring, both the freshmen and the upperclassmen that are coming in.
We're going to need to get up and down the field a little bit more, and we've got some guys out there right now who are really doing a great job. Chris Biddy is a football player who will be playing short stick midi for us, who will see significant amount of time. I talked to all these guys and kind of told them, hey, come out and have a good time and help us with some little bit of depth. We'll see how much we can get you out on the field. And some of them really surprised me. Somebody like a Chris Biddy, somebody like Randy Tucker has really kind of surprised us out there with their ability to actually get up and get down on the field. And so with that influx of guys, that's been pretty good.
So you guys kick off the season on Saturday against Franciscan University at 2 o'clock right here at Charles A. Henry Field. Talk about, like you said, you don't really talk about obtainable goals, but what's something that you want to look for here on the first day?
I just want to see our team gel together and play well as a unit. When you're out in practice, a lot of times, when you're practicing at lacrosse, you're doing different things. You're working on the offensive set, you're working on the defensive set, and you're working your transition, and those are the three big main things in lacrosse. And sometimes it takes a game or two to get those to gel. We had a scrimmage a couple of weeks ago. And I think our scrimmage showed us that we can and we have the ability to gel very well together. So that'll be our pretty much our biggest goal, I think, for this upcoming Saturday is to see how we can gel together all three of those aspects of the game to make us a much more productive team, going forward.
All right. Once again, that was head coach Brian Jenkins. You can catch the Terriers on Saturday here at Charles A. Henry Field against Franciscan University as they open up the 2019 season at 2 o'clock. You can also catch that online at HiramTerriers.com. We will have live stream and live stats. Until next time, go Terriers.